felt lost and in pain, and I couldn't do anything to save her. And that hurt. And I saw a poster. And it just said, calling all knitters and crocheters. And I identified with that. I could see that that poster spoke to me. And they wanted blankets and shawls. And I knew then that I was going to do something. And I started almost straight away. And Mum was still there, and I was still visiting. And she was still dying. But somehow, knowing that I was going to do something, I know. I wonder whether it made me feel better or it just distracted me from the pain. I guess the two things are pretty much the same thing, aren't they? Maybe I could just focus on someone else, on making a difference, on finding something to do in a hopeless situation. So I started making something, and I knew that I would make something. And that maybe would help me heal. I don't know. I think it was almost a grasping at straws. And I think that's what I needed, was to feel that there was something good in this painful, difficult situation of watching my mum die. And I happened to put it out there on social media, and I put it in a little Facebook group, and I said if anyone else would like to do something, then that'd be nice. And a couple of people said they would. But it all kind of took off the day my mum died. And I'd known it was coming. Yeah, I guess I wanted to pretend it wasn't. To keep the reality at distance. But she did, as I knew she would. So I tweeted, just put tweeting, sharing the poster, saying my mum died and the hospice needs blankets and shawls. If you can do anything, please retweet. And my daughter wasn't looking forward to the day that my mum died. She thought it would be a sad day. So, and death and loss is part of her history. And we went out. We went to the sculpture park, a lovely place to go and walk and be and think, and to keep life going on. And every so often I'd look at my phone, and it went from tens of people retweeting to hundreds of people retweeting to thousands, and then 10,000 people retweeting it. And I really didn't know what to do. I just never expected that to happen. And lots of people who didn't know me sending love. I think the most common thing people said was sorry for your loss. And it felt weird having people I didn't know talk to me about my loss, which felt deeply intimate and personal and very private in a way, even though I'd put it out there and kind of mentioned it and used it as a prompt, as a stimulus, as a reason to maybe encourage people. Suddenly my life became, my grief kind of had a different taste to it, a different flavour to it, a bit that wasn't quite so bitter. And yet part of it became really bittersweet because I wanted Mum to be there to tell her this incredible experience of what was going to happen. And she'd never know. Somebody in America responded almost straight away and said, well, I can't send you anything and I can't crochet or I knit, but I've bought some things. I was even on the day Mum died, he had bought 3 luxury throws from Amazon and got them sent. And I didn't know really how to say thank you to all these people. People I didn't know who knew nothing about me but understood loss and understood pain and understood mums and their importance in our life. And I think that was it. I think that people get it, that mums are important, and that even if they hadn't lost their mum, that they could understand what I was going through. And they could understand that all of these patients in this ward were somebody's mum, somebody's dad, somebody's brother and sister, somebody's grandma and grandpa. And before you know it, it was just the most amazing thing. It was a woman from Orkney who sent 9 blankets. I don't know where she got 9 blankets in such a short time. They looked homemade. Had she already made them and didn't know what to do with them? I don't know. But within a few days, she'd sent 9 blankets. People had picked up knitting needles and crochet hooks and taught themselves. And I've kept in touch with the ward and I've dropped more things off, and they've told me that it's just the most amazing experience. They feel like it's Christmas every day when parcels come. Dying to see what they're like, what sort of treasure is kept within. And groups, knitting groups and crochet groups, have got together and made things and then dropped them off. Jackie on the ward told me that now they have a blanket or a shawl in every room. So when the patient first arrived, there's something there. And I remember when we went and visited Mum, I loved the fact they had floral duvets and it was pretty and it wasn't like a hospital. It felt like a home. It felt like we're all gonna die. And it's nice to think Mum died somewhere with a view, with a nice pretty duvet. Or a shawl or a blanket, something to make you realise how loved you are and how much love there is in this world. I think we're up at nearly 200 gifts in a few months. It's been 3 months now. I've crocheted 25 blankets and shawls. I've learned quite a lot of crochet stitches, but it's given me a sense of purpose in probably one of the parts of my life where I felt most helpless, where I felt lacking in purpose. And I think Mum would have been delighted and totally confused because she never really got Twitter. So the fact this all happened with a single poster and a few words would have bemused her entirely. She'd have laughed and smiled and thought how lovely it was. And she'd have been very proud of me.